So yeah, I'm basically in Spain. I've been here for about 2 weeks. And I'm headed off to London tomorrow. And if you've been following my journey long enough, you would probably know my relationship with England, specifically London, England. I had a very traumatic experience, and I'm going there again tomorrow. And I'm super nervous. I'm very, very nervous. And if any of you have ever contemplated the idea of taking off overseas to travel, or just quitting your job to travel, or even just quitting your job so you can create a business or drop out of college so you can travel, and just this very unease feeling, I would say. This relates to the whole gut feeling. Down here, just like calling to, there's a terminology for this exact feeling. It's called the call to adventure. And it's like this feeling that it's just calling to you to do something. But of course, the mind comes up with so many excuses. I'm in college, I have a full-time job, I'm in debt, so I have to pay off my loans and so many little things. So if you can relate to this, anyone can relate to this really, especially when it comes to someone who's been living at home. It's very comfortable, their living situations. They're staying at their parents', they're living in the same hometown for a while, and if you can imagine, that gets old after a while. Imagine you doing that for 10 years or 2 decades or however long. Staying in the same exact place, seeing the same people, hearing the same accents, trying the same foods, you know everything, yet you sit at home in your parents' room, or your parents' place, so your own bedroom. That's funny, what was that? So you're sitting in your own room, in your parents' place, and you just have this feeling like, oh God, I really want to just take off and really see more of the world. Because you're just tired. You're tired of that comfortable living situation. And that's the call to adventure right there. It's that feeling that's drawn, like telling you to buy that one-way ticket overseas, go with your friends and travel to a different country. And this came in many ways in my own life. You can kind of relate to it in certain life situations that may have crossed your path, so to speak. So here's the thing. Yes, when I did take off overseas, that was a one way of a call to adventure, but it comes in many micro ways in your life. So yes, I am still overseas and I've been for a while now. I'm still on the adventure, but it does come in little micro ways, as I said. So for example, I'm taking off to London tomorrow. I'm very, very scared. I'm going to support my friend because he's holding this massive event. It's like his first business. There's gonna be a lot of like people I can meet that are out there, and it just feels right. So that's the call to adventure. But of course, with so many thoughts coming to mind, I might get locked up again in London. I might get rejected. I might have to end all my travels. And it's just a lot of scary thoughts are coming to my mind. And you can relate to this too if you're someone who's been living with your parents and you just want to take off to travel. There's so many excuses like, oh, what happens? My mom and dad might like berate me, kick me out of the family. I might be so pissed off. There's so many things that will come to mind, but you really have to listen to this little voice, as I've said, this call to adventure, and you have to accept it, because the sooner you accept it, the better off you'll be. You won't have regrets, because if you do decide to deny that call to adventure because you're too scared of XYZ, it's going to come out in very aggressive ways in the future. You might be someone that is just depressed at your job that you're working at, this office job, and you're 28 years old, and you're just doing the same thing over and over, and you're just like depressed. You just want to go back home so you can watch Game of Thrones or something, or just try to escape reality, go off over the weekends, just get drunk and just forget about it, just so you can ignore this little thought that has been very deep down inside. And the thing is, my birthday's coming up, and I do notice some people, when they reach their mid-20s or so, they have this whole midlife crisis. But for me right now, I have gone through some existential crisis. but not any, I wouldn't say midlife crisis. It's more of like I don't have any regrets of what I've done because I've accepted that call to adventure at such a young age. I decided to do this call to adventure. I can think when I decided to drop off out of college to do a personal training school. When that was done, I went back home and had to live with my parents, and I didn't want to work this 9-to-5 job and working at this gym and taking vacations every now and then, every few months. So my next call adventure was this whole like you should take off overseas, and so I decided to take that. And you might be experiencing this as well. So you can kind of use this as a future you, someone that was young enough to accept that call to adventure and ignore all those other voices from their parents, from their friends, from society, and decided to actually listen to that little voice that was pulling them, that was drawing them away from their home country and just to explore other places around the world. So this might be you. I know there's gonna be those fears there, but the thing is, these fears are they're just trying to keep you inside your comfort zone. It's as cliche as that might sound, but it's just a way, I think, our reptilian brain, I believe they just care about your safety. Your ego wants to protect you. But the thing is, you're not, even when you decide to take off overseas, and I really hope you do, if that is your life calling, if that is your call to adventure and you accept it, I really hope that you buy that one-way ticket if it feels right. If it feels, I'm not saying if you think it maybe sounds right, but if it feels right, just do it, and you're gonna be exposing your brain to the whole world and showing that all these fears of yours weren't really that big of a deal. So when I took off, a huge fear of mine was, oh, I don't know anyone overseas. Well, what is that really pointing? What's that pinpointing? It's not really, I'm scared to not meet people overseas. It's more of, you gotta put the ego aside. Well, Jesse, your social skills aren't that great. Are you a bit self-conscious? Or do you not believe that people will like you for who you are? And it gets really deep like that. So, yeah, I just want to wrap this video up. It's just that call to adventure. Accept it. I'm in the same boat right now. I'm petrified as fuck right now to hop on a plane within 12 hours to go to London, England, where I got thrown in an immigration cell, and it was a very traumatic experience. And I'm still accepting that call to adventure when it feels right, even though my mind's coming up with some very, very scary thoughts that I'm actually like shaking right now thinking about it. So with that said, whatever your call to adventure is, if it is to leave your parents' house, to take off overseas by yourself, or if your friends are inviting you on a trip, on a road trip, just might be outside your state if you're not someone that's very comfortable with just leaving your whole country and leaving everything behind. Maybe it might be quitting your job because it just feels right, as opposed to listening to your parents, just trying to please them and all that. So I hope you enjoy this video. I'm taking off to London tomorrow. The call to adventure is pulling me there. Of course, I'm so scared, but I'm gonna do it anyways. And hopefully, see, there's still this self-doubt. Hopefully, by the time I reply to your comments you leave down below, I will be in London, England, and I will have recorded another video for you. So with that said, see you later.
And please like this video as well, because it really helps Jesse out. If you like the video, you have to say you gotta like the video, man. It helps.
Nut. It helps.
Nut.
Give me that nut.